Hi, it's Lisa Cunha. Welcome to my scrapbook table. Today's layout is not for any particular challenge or any particular sketch. I just have these 6 photos that I knew I wanted to get on a layout. I also wanted to use non-outdoorsy themed materials to make this layout. And I also wanted to do some mixed media. I have this title that I cut out on my silhouette, which is one of the first things I actually had success with on my silhouette. I cut it out a month or 2 ago, and I'm just now using it, but I love it. So one of these Simple Stories collections is called Hello Today. Another one, I don't know the name of it, but it was like a home or family themed collection. I think this stencil with the arrows is also from Simple Stories, but I don't know. I don't keep my stencils in any sort of order. And I also used a little bit of Simple Vintage Lakeside or Lake Life, one or the other. And when I started the mixed media, it was kind of a mess. And I was a crop when I was doing this. And I know people walking by or near me probably thought, this is really ugly. And at first I didn't like it at all. But I have learned from watching some of the people who I admire how well they do mixed media on their scrapbook pages. I've learned to just keep going, because you can keep changing it until you get to something you like. And I also try to keep in mind that once it's actually part of the page, you don't see it all. You see bits and pieces of it because you're adding your photos, your embellishments, your title, your journaling block. So all those layers and things, when it peeks out from behind them, I usually end up liking it. So I'm using this stamp because I didn't bring a block or the right kind of plastic, so I just used the packaging on that stamp to make it work. And then I just cleaned off the packaging. Now I'm using a blue and a green. I think the green is Rustic Wilderness. I'm sorry, I don't remember what the blue was. But those two, neither one alone was the color that I wanted, but the two together made this pretty green that I really liked, that was just what I wanted. And so I just randomly put that over the ink splotches that I made. And I wish I had re-inkers to use, because it took me several times in several different places on my mat there to get enough of the ink to get it to be the color saturation that I wanted. It would have been a lot easier if I had used paint or re-inker or something. But I was at the crop, I used what I had, and it turned out okay. This layout, I will confess, did take me a really long time to do. But that's okay. It's done. I like it. I'm happy with it. And I had fun. So I have 3 places where I have mixed media. Bottom left, top middle-ish, and then bottom right. And I actually take it up a little farther on the right-hand page than I did on the left. And I do smush it accidentally some. I mess up some of the stenciling, but it doesn't matter in the end because there's a picture over top. So you'll see probably when I lift this stencil up here where I have too much texture paste where I don't want it. There I'm scraping up every little bit that isn't dried yet because I need a little bit more on there. And there it is. Yeah, you can see it squished over there. Then I decide I want to ink up the edges. So I just get one of my brushes. I don't remember if it's walnut stain or vintage photo or whatever they call it, but it's one of the 2 Distress Oxide browns that I have. And I just went around the all 4 sides of each of my 2 papers. And I didn't think I left that all in there, but I guess I left most of it. And now I laid down my template and the letters of the title inside the template. And I'm gluing the letters and putting them down. Now I will tell you, if I do this again, I will only do about 4 letters at a time before I lift up the stencil thing that I'm using as a guide, because some of it was hard to pick up because a little bit of the glue from the letters got where I didn't want it. But look at that title. I really like it. So now I'm thinking about where I'm going to put these photos. And what you see here is not what I end up doing. So I fiddle around with them for a while before I finally decide on an arrangement that I like. And I think about moving the mixed media to the middle, but then I don't have anything drawing your eye to the far right-hand side of the layout. So I put it back, and I think, well, maybe I'll do this. And I have that one photo upside down. I realized that. That's what I get when I'm at a crop and I'm talking while I'm trying to scrap. And then I think, no, I want this vertical photo to be on the right-hand side. And this is closer to what I'm going to do. So then I pulled out just different patterns from these 2 Simple Stories collections. You can see my earbud laying there. And I glued them down. I did ink all of the edges. I matted that focal point photo that's on the far right with the path. I love that picture. These were taken in Idaho near, after we left Bear Lake, and we were in Logan Canyon in the Cache National Forest. Beautiful, beautiful. We took a drive. We stopped along the way and took pictures. We didn't really have an itinerary. We weren't in a hurry. And so anywhere that was pretty and we wanted to stop, we did. And then we took a short hike through one of the trails. And the frame for 2 of the photos, I'm using this plaid. And I decided I wanted to ink the edges of this as well. The other 3 photos I didn't matte. But these 2, I wanted to ink up the plaid. So just like I did the 12 by 12 papers that were the background, I just put it on with a brush. I should be just about done here. And there we go. I did trim that one down to be the same width as my focal point photo, because then there was a bit of blank, not white space, because it is distressed and inked and everything, but a bit of blank space around the photos to give your eye somewhere to rest. Now I'm using the edge distressing tool that I got from MK's shop, Some Assemblage Required. I was so excited when I saw that this was back in stock. So as soon as I got the email saying it's back in stock, I ordered it that moment. And I wouldn't have thought that something so seemingly simple would make such a big difference, but it really does. It does a great job, way easier than using my fingers or the edge of my scissors. So I was really happy with that. It might not be the first time you've seen me use it in a video, but I think it was the first time I actually used it for a page. Then I went to my Lake Life sticker book and ephemera packs and found some things to put on there. Some shoes, some arrows, some mushrooms, some log pieces. This banner, we weren't camping. I don't do camping. So we were not camping, but I wanted the part of this embellishment that says Happy Trails. So I just cut off the tent and Now, I have done camping like in an RV. I don't love it, but I've done it. But a tent would be like an absolute no for me. I that's just not my thing. But I wanted to use this part of it, so I got rid of the tent. I actually have an envelope or a bag of camping related ephemera that came with all of my out west stuff that I'm using for this project. And next time I'm at a crop, once I finish this vacation, I will give all the camping stuff to somebody who likes camping, because there was a lot of camping things. So now I'm going back. I added a sticker that says on the left there, it says "Say Yes to Adventures." I put a little log there. Here's the mushrooms getting glued on. Those have a butterfly with them. I made sure there were mushrooms in each embellishment cluster. Now I'm working on where I'm going to put a little bit of journaling. So the rectangle that's in the back isn't quite big enough for what I want. So I just split it in half and split it apart behind the journaling piece that I'm going to use and make it work that way. And my journaling just says, after leaving Bear Lake, we went to Logan Canyon in the Cache National Forest. As we drove, we stopped to take photos. Then we took a short hike through the forest. Our trip is coming to a close. And just when I think I'm at the end of the photos, I find another layout with pictures and some plans that I have made for it. So I think at this point there are 2 more layouts, and then the out west summer of 2022 trip will be all done. And I've already mostly finished vacation of 23 as well. So here we're coming to an end. You will see some still shots in just a moment. And while this is not my usual kind of layout, it's a little out of my comfort zone, I do really like how it ended up. I especially like the stenciling. There you go. Here are the still shots, and thanks for joining me today. Goodbye.